Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Hello guys, welcome back, Bushcraft Family. Yeah, with another video. Today is a what if kind of scenario type thing. Hopefully nobody ever has to think about this, but it's good to think about things like this, like scavenging and what items to be looking for when you're out doing the scavenging. And I thought, well, let's narrow it down, and then we can maybe go onward with the next part of this. But this thing is going to be what to scavenge from abandoned vehicles and things like that. Say, the grid goes down, or there's an EMP, or there's a solar flare that knocks out the world's electrical grid and everything running type scenario. Now, I know there's going to be a few that say, well, if you have a car older than blah, 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 then it won't affect it. In theory, that's true. In theory. Which a lot of times, in theory, things are proven wrong. So I wouldn't want to bank my life on theories. So you kind of got to go with the flow with that. Anyways, let's get back to the subject at hand. Things that you can use, or things that scavenge from abandoned vehicles after, a shift, or, whatever the case may be. These vehicles been setting for a while and whatnot. One of the probably most important things that you'll get from a vehicle is the gasoline or diesel, depending on the vehicle. You can use that as fuel source. You can use it as, you can use it as a weapon. There's many things that you can use it for. You can use it for cleaning things, fire starting. There's so many useful things for gasoline. Even if it's older, you can still use it as a solvent. You can, cleaning things. We'll leave it at that. And yes, I'm not sick. I just have being stuck in the house for so long. It is dry from the heat. So I sniff a lot. Anyways, next one. Batteries. Them batteries are so important. You can, if you got a way to convert AC into DC, or no, AC into electricity, that's invaluable when trying to survive wherever you make a base or shelter or whatever. So a battery would be so worth carrying around that extra weight. There's so much you can do with the power. Even if it's just DC, you can use for lighting. You can use it for signal making. There's so much. It's energy. The next one on the list, I would probably say, and this is if you're going out and you have the tools to do stuff with, is an alternator. And an alternator can be used to charge said battery. You can hook it up to a a bicycle to where you just sit on there and pedal and charge your battery back up for more use. You can make a makeshift windmill with the parts from the car. And I'm not going to go into, the fan blade and all that stuff, fans, and because most cars now, they have that electric little fan in the front that sucks the air through. But you can also make a water wheel where it can charge your batteries this way, and all you have to have is that alternator and wires and all that fun stuff. But and while you're taking that off, don't forget the belts, because the belts are very important. It's kind of hard to craft a belt. Next thing is motor oil. If you're at a point to where you could drain that oil, it's used for so much. You can use it to prevent rust. You can put it on wood to prevent it from decaying. There's so much you can do with it. You can use it, if you run out of oil for your weapons. Almost said it. It's not the perfect thing, but in a pinch, it's better than nothing. Even if you use it for the outside, just to keep the rust out for the metal. Next part, if you can pull any part of the metal off of a vehicle safely, you have to do it safely, because you don't want to injure yourself. You can use the metal panels for all kinds of stuff. You can use it for making weapons, believe it or not, armor, shelters. Hoods would be a perfect thing, because usually there's not too many bolts holding the hood or the trunk on, and it's easier carried than trying to carry a door or corner panel or something like that. But you have to sit there and think of all the stuff that you can make off of the metal. And nowadays you have to be prepared, because there's a lot of vehicles that are not made with metal. So you'd have to look for those types of vehicles. Next one would be upholstery. Anywhere from the seats can be used for just to sleep on, to clothing, padding, all kinds of stuff. Also, the overhead is usually a pretty good size piece of clothing, fabric, or whatever you want to call it. You can use this for, patching your clothes, making clothes, all kinds of stuff. And we have mirrors. A lot of people, why would you need a mirror? Well, say you're out in the boonies somewhere, and you're set up to where you can have outposts or lookouts or something, and you need to signal somebody without hey, there's somebody coming, something like that. Mirrors are a good way to communicate and signal. Not to mention, hey, if you don't want to peek your head around the corner, you can just stick that mirror up and see what's on the other side, if you know what I mean. Military personnel uses such devices, small ways to look around corners and things like that, to where they don't give a big old head target. and it's just, hey, I want to shave and I want to look how I'm shaving, or you get you're going through the woods and you get a injury on your face, and it's only you, so you can sew your face up, or just clean a wound, or and there's just looking at yourself, see how you look, type of thing. But yeah, mirrors are still important, and it could be the center mirror, or it could be the outside mirrors. And our next one would be, I don't know, wiring. If you have ways you can pull that wiring out, be very important. Say you want to wire something up in your shelter or wherever you're at, to hook up the battery or hook up the alternator to something. The wiring. Where are you? It's not like you can make it off the bark of a tree or something. It's important. Trying to think of a way to make your own wiring, that'd be hard. It can be used, in some cases, the different types of gauges of wire, you can use it for making traps, snares. There's so much you could go into just from the wiring and stuff. With that would be, the next thing would be headlights and taillights. The overhead lights. Because, 3 o'clock in the morning, something makes a noise, or you want to turn a light on to read a book or something. Hey, nothing better than light that comes from a battery that you don't have to make a candle or start a fire or something like that. And sometimes it is, if you need to, some of those, like the older headlights and stuff, do create a lot of heat, and you could actually heat a small area, and that would be better than starting a fire and giving away your location. There's many different things that you can do with the light. There's the LED stuff, can be can last a longer time in some cases. So yeah, there's many things you can do with headlights, taillights, the overhead lights, the door lights. There's so many uses you can get out of a vehicle that I'm not going to come up with all of them. There'll be a lot more people will say and whatnot. This doesn't even count the stuff that you're going to search for inside, the glove box, the little center console, and the trunks and things like this. This is just parts of the car or vehicle. Seat belts. These are very strong, in most cases, very strong straps. They can be used for cordage, making shelters. You can use them for carrying things. So much. Plus, you have the buckles that you can cinch things down to carry or something like that. Just so many uses for just a seatbelt. Because other than that, making cordage out of, plant fiber or bark or something like that. Imagine carrying a heavy strap going across you with that. It's not the nicest feeling, because it digs into your skin and whatnot. Our next one is, and this is I'll probably hear a little bit about this, but air filters. These newer cars that have these air filters in them, Yes, they're going to be dirty right off the bat, but if you can clean these out, you could use these to filter water. I've looked into, and these are, again, these are the newer ones. These flat ones. Uh, Not sure if you could do much with the round ones or anything like this. Again, I'm talking about these newer ones, not the older ones, because those are not the nicest. But they can be washed. It will take a while to get all the settlement and out all that air and stuff from driving around. But once you get that cleaned out, oh man, that's night and day having a way to filter your water. Um, and I'm not going to go into how to do this or anything like this, but you can kind of get the idea of how this would be used. And I'm not going to say, where you get your water and how you do it and methods of doing it and stuff, because that's a whole video by itself. Um, our next one, hey, if you can, if you can get into a way to um, bringing the rims, uh, getting the rims or something like that, because you can make so much just off the rims, not talking about the tires and everything like that. And if you can find a very old vehicle that has tube tires, which tube inside there, but I very well doubt it would be any good anymore. But those make excellent slingshots and things like that. But we won't talk about this. But the rims themselves can be used to make grills for cooking, fire rings, all kinds of stuff. And there's so many different ones now. And again, these have to be metal rims. You don't want to try to do this with these aluminum rims and stuff, because at a certain temperature, aluminum puts off gas that is poisonous, and you don't want to be mixing that with your food or breathing that in. Also, you heat up that rim, you can use it as a heat source. There's many uses. I'm not going to go into all the uses and everything. It's just one of those things that you could use off a vehicle. Now, I was sitting there thinking, parts that could be used, and one thing that came up was spark plugs. And you might be thinking, huh? What are you talking about? That doesn't make sense. I said, you know that it lets off a spark. And if you know anything about, I have to be careful with doing this, because it lets off a spark, which could ignite things that do or go boom, or anything in that nature. If you was be able to use something like that for protection or whatever, or just taking a stump out of the ground to make a spot for a garden or something. We'll go out of that one a little bit, but let's see here. Wheels and axle. If you can get the back axle or something off of a vehicle, it'd have to be a small, little bitty car or something like that. But you could turn that into a cart or a trailer or something like that you could pull behind whatever, some kind of animal, goat or or a cow or something like that. Think of, if you had to go a long distance, that could carry all your stuff. Um, you could carry all your belongings and stuff. You could use it for, you know, for gardening and stuff like that. There's so many uses, and I'm not saying go and get these big, hefty truck rear ends and stuff like that, but um, these small cars, one man could probably pick up the rear end of one of those vehicles. The next one would be trailer sheds, shells from a truck bed. The truck bed too, to be honest. If you have the tools or knowledge to take that apart, that's one heck of a shelter. And I'm not talking about the big old camper shells that you can stay in, because that would be nice, but you're not going to carry that by yourself. Some of these small beds and camper shells are lightweight, and you could eventually get that to your location. You can use it for storage. You can use it for a shelter, to get out of the wind. You can seal it up, and you could dry herbs and stuff, and you can use it to store your food, and so many uses. And I could go on and on with the stuff that you could use, from the tires to whatever. But this kind of gives you an idea, something to think about. And it's nothing like hoping this stuff happens or anything. It's just in case, because you never know. And if you don't have these thoughts or these videos to reference some of this stuff, it's imagine not knowing this stuff, and that learning curve that you would have to go through beforehand. So, like I said, it's good to think about these things. Until next time, like always, God bless.